What's up, everyone? Welcome to MLB Crunch Time. I am your host, TJ Zwarich. We got two of the sharpest minds in the biz joining me, helping me break down this MLB sprint slate we got going, all the games starting within 5 minutes of each other. This should be a lot of fun, and I'm here breaking it down with my guy, the Chief, Will Priester. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, brother. Another day, another slate, and as we were talking about pre-show, Cousin Quinn is on the mound. So I don't know why these weekend shows he ends up on either a Saturday or a Sunday with me. Usually a Saturday, but Cousin Quinn is back in our lives. Welcome aboard, everybody.
It should be a fun one. We were talking, didn't expect to see Quinn Priester Chalk Day, but it is what we got today. And I also want to highlight that everyone should be smashing the like button, subscribe, and hitting the notification bell, but specifically the likes, because not only were the Spidey Bombs hot last night, we hit 2 of them, and now today, I don't want to toot my own horn a little bit, but I will say my first 3 home run bets of the day were Riley Green, Byron Buxton, and Nick Kurtz. So feeling pretty good right now going into the afternoon games. Let's keep it going. Hit the like button. We'll do Spidey Bombs every 50 likes. Breaking down the slate with us today, we got Taylor Smith, hey Bojangles, if you will, if you follow him on socials. Taylor, how you doing?
Not too bad. Yeah, it is kind of an underwhelming pitching slate, but it is nice having all the games starting within like 5 minutes of each other, so we don't have to wait around for like a 10 p.m. Eastern lock or anything like that. So excited to be back.
All right, let's start getting to it. Already only 7 likes away from the first Spidey Bomb, so keep hitting that like button. We are already nice and close. Weekend Crew's always great for smashing that like button. Let's start talking about this pitching slate. We have 2 guys up top who are kind of like the clear top options today. Neither of them are, so I don't want to say neither of them aren't in that great of spots, but neither of them actually project well. Like Texas, it's a decent spot, but with Seager back in the lineup, they're a little bit more dangerous. Brian Wu has been a very consistent guy all year, hasn't shown much ceiling until the last 2 games. He's shown a pretty big ceiling. He's going to be quite heavily owned today. We're projecting about 30%. I could see it being higher than that. The other guy up top, we have Robbie Ray, 10-5. He gets a really high strikeout matchup, but the White Sox also quite a bit of power, surprisingly, against left-handed pitching. He's going to be very highly owned, highest owned pitcher on the slate. And he's actually kind of been struggling lately. He had this big stretch of great, consistent baseball, and he's actually kind of been struggling again lately. Taylor, I'll throw it to you first. Let's kind of just go straight up top here and talk to me about Robbie Ray and Brian Wu, and then we'll get into the everybody else.
Yeah, there are a lot of names that are not good names on this slate. I think between the top 2, I do favor Wu. I don't love that Texas has 5 lefties in there against him. He's been a lot better against righties from both a strikeout and a ground ball perspective, but still not a super imposing lineup. It's a decent park for pitching overall. I just trust him a little bit more in terms of consistency than I do with Ray. The Robbie Ray corollary over the years has been to fade him as chalk and to play or stack against him when he's chalk and to play him when he's lower owned. Going to be owned today against the White Sox. Like you said, doesn't that great? He's going to be super popular. I'm going to be pretty under the field on him and kind of right around the field on Wu.
Will, how about you with Robbie Ray or Brian Wu up top? You favoring one over the other? You're looking at double barrel, or you're looking to fade them and go cheap?
Yeah, so let me just say I'm probably Robbie Ray is my number 1. I like Wu, but Ray is definitely number 1 for me. In terms of where I'm going to go after that, I'm definitely not playing Quinn. I'm probably going to play Chris Bassett for what it's worth. I think Bassett's my next guy in, just based on the way Boston's been playing and where I feel like his skills rank relative to everyone else. And I think that's a fairly chalky pairing, but considering that I'm getting Chris Bassett over Cousin Quinn, I feel fine.
Taylor, in a cash game format, would you go double barrel here, spend up for both Woo and Robbie Ray, or would you be looking to pair one of them with Priester?
Yeah, I would definitely play Priester. I think in the bat, he projects better than Ray and similar to Woo. And I think, it's a medium projection. There's a lot of volatility. It is Quinn Priester with a 16% strikeout rate, but he's at home. He's facing Colorado. There are more strikeouts in the lineup. He is a pretty good ground ball guy. So the hope is he can get a few extra Ks, kind of get through some easy innings. He's cheap. There are a lot of bats to pay for on the slate. So I'm totally fine just pairing Priester with Woo and cash on DK.
Who would be your FanDuel guy? Would it be Woo at 10-2?
I think it would be Priester. You can really load up on the bats. He's 8-2. Like we said, Woo and Ray are really not in awesome spots themselves. So there's risk. It's not a comfortable play, but if Woo and Ray post average games or worse, you're feeling pretty good about it with Priester. So not for the faint of heart, but I do feel confident enough in the spot to play him on FanDuel as well.
The other part about Ray that I forgot to mention when we were kind of diving in is from the Giants to guaranteed rate field in Chicago. That's like one of the biggest park upgrades you can have as a batter. One of the biggest park downgrades you can have as a pitcher. It's top 5-ish park for home runs, whereas for the Giants, it's the worst park or bottom 3. So big park downgrade for Robbie Ray. Taylor, I guess, outside of the 3 optimal-ish guys, Ray, Woo, Priester, we know your opinions on those. In large field stuff, who would be some of the pivots you'd be looking to get to?
I don't like anyone. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to play Senzatella, Eflin, Rocker, Vasquez, Blackburn, maybe Paul Blackburn against Pittsburgh, but I really don't want to play him. Sandy Alcantara has been rough this year. Geez, man. Bailey Falter against the Mets. Brandon Fox listen, Miami's actually not striking out as much as people think this year. They're really not. So Brandon Fox, secretly, I kind of like Miami today. We'll get into that later. But Brandon Fox, Lucas Giolito against Toronto in a tough spot. If this was Giolito from maybe 4 years ago with the White Sox, I might be interested. Not right now. Miles Mikolas against Cleveland. No, thank you. Zach Littell against Baltimore. Baltimore striking out a ton. Maybe Zach, what you'd be banking on is him getting through 6 innings fairly clean with 4 strikeouts and hoping he didn't give up, more than a run or two. Like
22 runs like they did yesterday.
Yeah, this is guys. I don't want to play any of these guys. So Robbie Ray and Woo and Bassett, that's pretty much it for me. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah, if you wanted to not expand at all past Ray, Woo, Bassett, Priester, I don't think I could fault anybody for that and just differentiate your bats today. At the same time, I think there's probably only about a handful of pitcher you can't play today. I think if I'm going dumpster diving, going real cheap, my favorite is Rocker. I don't trust him at all. It's a big park upgrade for Seattle. But I don't trust anybody. So it's like you can play everybody, but you also probably don't want to play anybody. Taylor, any of these names you'd want to highlight?
Yeah, the one I'm getting the most of is Fott, which feels really bad. But it is Miami at home. Not the most powerful lineup, but also not a great strikeout matchup, and he has been pretty bad. But I think his SIERA is like a 1.5 better than his ERA, so I think he's been a little bit unlucky. I don't mind that at 7.4, but I am also getting to plenty of Miami on the other side. I'm okay with Rocker, like you said. I think facing Seattle's okay. They have quite a few lefties, but most of them aren't amazing. So Rocker for 6.5 has some strikeout upside, I think, kind of hidden in there somewhere. So I'm okay with that. I feel better about Rocker than Eflin. I just don't really want to mess with Eflin against Tampa Bay that much, even though he's 6,100. But yeah, it gets pretty grim out there. I think Fod is okay. I don't have a lot of faith in it, but he and Rocker are probably the cheapest I'd go.
All right, let's start diving into the stacked side of things today. And today I highlighted my favorite birthdays. That's what I went with. My top birthdays. It won't be the same for everybody. You know, the legal ages of things are different in different places. So, like, not going to be the exact same for everybody. But that's kind of how I wanted to rank things because it is my birthday in 2 days. On Monday is my birthday. And so that was what was on my mind. And I figured we got this fun little sprint slate over an hour to talk about things. Might as well do a tier board. So let's tier some stacks today. One thing I'll ask before I reveal the board, Will, do you remember what your favorite birthday was?
No, because I'm not really big on birthdays, not my own. So, every year I'm just grateful to be alive, man. I'm not a big birthday. I'm a huge Christmas guy for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. Love Christmas. Birthdays, though, I mean, man, most of my birthdays, I just go somewhere, grab something to eat, and come on back home.
Taylor, how about you?
Kind of the same thing. I remember one year I had a birthday party, obviously when I was a kid at McDonald's, which was kind of a thing that people did
in the 90s. Did they have a play place?
They did.
Nice.
I think that was probably the point. But yeah, it was a good time. I don't know what age that was, but sometime in the single digits way back then.
I too had some fun ones as a kid, and then I kind of don't really remember what I did for most of these birthdays, and I'll throw the board up now, but I more so kind of thought of what I could do when I was these ages. And so 19 is where I live. It is legal drinking age, it's legal gambling age. And I also was a year older than most of the people in my grade. So I turned 19 4 days after I graduated high school. I graduated high school, I think it was on June 26th, and then I turned 19 on June 30th. And so I also moved out immediately after I finished high school. And so I got to be legal drinking age, legal gambling age, living on my own right after. And so that was a really, really fun time. 21, because obviously I'm a big DFS guy and sports betting guy. And so I wanted to, that's when I could start legally playing FanDuel, Draftkings, and different things like that. 10, because you turn double digits. It's a lot of fun, you know? When you're 9 years old and you turn 10, you feel like that is huge. I'm no longer a little kid. I'm getting older. 30, I put at the bottom at 4 because while it was a really fun party, it kind of, I do remember 30 as having a really fun birthday party, but at the same time, I also think of it as kind of like a different chapter in the life changing. You're saying goodbye to the younger phase and you're kind of leaning into, for me, the family starting phase and getting old and the body's hurting. And 50, because I have seen how fast my dad's body is breaking down. And I know that mine is already starting to break down. And I know by the time, like, he had a hip replacement in his early 40s. I know by the time
early 40s.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I know by the time I hit my 50s, my body is going to be starting to break down. I want to shout out to Power because I actually agree with Power in the chat. 16th birthday over 10th birthday. 16th birthday, you get your first car, you get your license. And that was actually like same as me. Got a car, got my license. Football team was undefeated at the time. I was in the exact same boat. So Power, that's a great call. I'm subbing in 16 for 10. All right. Let's start doing some tiers. Maria Donyeezy in chat says 23 should be on there, and I disagree because Blink-182 told me no one likes you when you're 23. So I don't want an age where nobody's liking me for the whole year. All right, let's do it. Start some tiers. We have the first game on the slate is Tampa Bay at Baltimore. How we do it is I will give one of you the opportunity to rank these two teams. The other person will get the chance to veto one of the two. They can't veto both, but they can veto one of the two and bump them up or down one spot. And we will, of course, alternate between people. Taylor, I will give you the first chance to rank Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Where would you put these two stacks today?
Both certainly near the top. I think you can make a case for both in 19. Two vulnerable power-prone pitchers on the mound. Littell in particular has been pretty bad against hitters from both sides. Baltimore's pretty lefty-heavy, but Sanchez is a good value again. And then Tampa Bay against Eflin, like lefties have killed him kind of for a long time. And Tampa Bay, as we know, is a pretty good left-handed lineup as well. So, and the park favors lefties too. So both in 19, but I would hear a case for 21.
I am totally good with that too. They're my second and third highest owned stacks on the slate, I believe. Will, how about you? Any vetoes for Baltimore or the Rays? Would you bump?
I like this game, man. I totally agree with Taylor here. Like both sides. Once again, I think the only way this thing crashes and burns is both of these guys go what, Taylor? 6 innings, 4 Ks, 5 hits, and no runs. Like that's how this game goes if it's a failure. But I mean, good weather. I love this game. Couldn't agree with Taylor more here.
All right, Will. Next one to you. We have Seattle at Texas. Both teams under 4 totals. Who do you like here? Where would you rank these teams? Sorry.
I probably like Seattle a little bit more than everybody else. Let me give Seattle at 21. I'm going to go Texas at 30.
All right. Tell me why.
No, it's pretty quick. I don't like Kumar Rocker, but I don't think this is as good of a spot as Baltimore and Tampa Bay for what it's worth. So slightly above it. I don't agree with this Vegas total. And then in terms of Texas, I just think Brian Woo's skills should keep the Texas offense at bay. I don't think Texas is the worst offense in the world, but I don't. So that's why they're at 30. But yeah, I think Seattle sneakily gets off here, just not as much as Baltimore and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I like this spot for a sneaky Seattle stack as well. I think that's a good call. Taylor, any of these you would like to veto up or down?
I guess you can make a case for Texas in 30 just for the leverage on Woo, but I don't really have any of that at all. So I might put them in 50. Seattle, like a mini stack, is okay. The lefties look good against Rocker in particular. So like a Raleigh, Rayleigh, Canzone 3-man is okay. So yeah, I'm okay with them there. Maybe 16, 21, something like that.
Well, you can only bump one of them down. You picking Seattle or Texas?
Texas.
All right. I like the idea of a little Seattle or a Texas leverage stack too. I didn't X either of those teams. Did I X? I actually did X Texas out of my pool. Never mind. All right. Next one to you, Taylor. We have the Mets at the Pirates. Wind is blowing out. It's hot in Pittsburgh. Where do you got these two teams?
I actually had the Mets as my sneaky stack in the survey today. I think they're really good in a really good spot against Falter. Lefty reverse split, good for Soto and Nimmo. So fine with the righty power. Vientos is super cheap. He might be kind of popular. Alonso, Lindor. So I'd put them in 19 personally. They're my highest owned 5-man right now. And then Pittsburgh, more of a mini stack like Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz. 16 probably. Like I don't think they're in a bad spot, but it is the Pirates. So not dying to 5-man them by any means. I think 16 is probably about right.
All right. And it is the perfect time to give out Spidey Bomb number 1 as well, because he is a Met. Pete Alonso plus 320, the first Spidey Bomb. Keep getting that likes up. We got more coming. Second one dropping as soon as we get to 100 likes. So keep hitting that like button. Will either of these teams you want to veto up or down for the Pirates, or potentially down for the Mets?
No, I'm good. I'm going to keep rolling. Taylor's doing a great job today. No need for me to rock the boat here. Love these placements.
All right. Well, this is the spot that I know you and Taylor might disagree, Will, but I'm going to be siding with you, and I might veto Taylor's veto. We got Miami going into Arizona. Where'd you rank these two stacks?
I love both of these stacks. Miami's definitely going to be at 21 for me, and Arizona is probably going to be there as well. Really close to the top for me. I just think the other offenses are slightly better. The only reason why I don't have Arizona in the top right now is I think not having Corbin Carroll is a big deal for them.
No Josh Naylor either.
Yeah, and no Josh Naylor. So I do think this. I still think this offense is great today. But both of these teams going at 21. I don't trust Brandon Pfaadt right now. Strikeout rate is low. And when I look over this Miami team, like I said, when I was looking at some things today, you'd be very interested to see 12% for Xavier Edwards on the season. Jesus Sanchez, 20%. Otto Lopez, 12. Augustine Ramirez, 14.3%. Really high for Kyle Soares at 32.1, but has a 245 ISO. 19% for Wagaman. 13% for Hicks, 28% and 27% for Norby and Myers at the bottom of the lineup. This lineup has an average K rate of 20%, and Brandon Pfaadt is giving up power to both sides of the plate. Look out, a cheap Miami stat could win it all today. Really like this team. And, of course, I don't really have to sell you on Arizona against a struggling Sandy Alcantara right now.
I love the Marlins today. I'm absolutely with you, Will. They are my fourth highest owned stack. Kyle Stower is one of my favorite bats on the slate at only 3,800. Taylor, I'll let you veto Arizona up or down, but you're not touching Miami.
I would actually move them up, the Marlins.
I love it.
I mentioned Pfaadt as a play, but I also have Miami is my highest owned stack. I have the Mets as my highest owned 5-man, but Miami overall
misjudged the situation.
Is higher up. So they're cheap. It's a good spot. Park upgrade for them. I'm all about it. I'm less into Arizona. So my veto, I guess, was Miami moving up, but Arizona kind of middle of the road, like you said, no Carroll or Naylor. So not a great lineup to throw at Alcantara, but they're fun enough.
I love that we're all on this. I thought I misread that situation, but we are all aboard the Marlins train today.
What could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. What could possibly go wrong? I feel like they're especially my favorite team. Like if I'm doing a Robbie Ray and Brian Wu lineup, Miami's who I want to do it with because they're just so wildly cheap that you can still get really good players around them. I was looking at something where it's like you could play Wu and Ray, still get Pete Alonso, Lindor, and Soto and 5-man, a couple of these different cheap stacks and make it work. And so I do really like that these calls here. San Francisco at the White Sox. Big park upgrade for San Francisco. White Sox facing the best pitcher on the slate. Taylor, where would you rank these two teams?
I put the White Sox in 30. I don't think they're a bad mini stack. Like we know, Ray's prone to blowing up. He will give up power to righties in particular. So Vargas, Mydroth, Austin Slater, Edgar Caro. I think that's okay. And then what was the other one? San Francisco. I think they're probably 21. Hauser's been pretty good against righties, not so much against lefties. So Devers, Yastrzemski, things like that are okay. I liked him a little more last night than I do today, but I still think they're kind of toward the top.
What number? Sorry, I missed that.
I'll say 21 for the Giants and 30 for the White Sox.
All right. Will, what are your thoughts on these two? Either one up or down?
Man, Taylor's got to make this thing hard for me today. I agree with both of these again. Hauser's not anything that I'm, any type of pitcher that I'm worried about. And then, in terms of the White Sox, I probably will veto. Let's go White Sox all the way at the bottom. I know Robbie Ray has his struggles from time to time, but for him being the best pitcher on the slate, he better go out here and do his job today, Taylor, and limit this offense. Don't go out here and stink up the joint and walk 5 guys in the first inning. Just blow past this team and go 7 innings, 10 Ks, and make us all happy.
As a guess, what do we think the White Sox team ISO is this year against lefties?
I'm going to go, let's go 0.08.
140, 130.
152. They're actually pretty good. With 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters in the green on lineup HQ. They're not as bad from like a power standpoint as we think. They do strike out a ton, though. 27.1% this lineup right now that they're rolling out there today. And Ray, of course, does strike out more righties than he does lefties, at least this year. Toronto at Boston. Chris Bassett pitching for Toronto. And then on the other side of things, we have Lucas Giolito. Will, where would you put the Blue Jays and the Red Sox?
Man, Blue Jays are probably going to be – I'm going to go 21 for the Blue Jays just because – and there's a little bias in this thing. The Blue Jays are never a top-tier team to me. Like anytime – I mean, they could be facing me on the mound, and everything's just going to go out to the warning track and die. Like they just don't get it done when you need them to get it done. So they're going in 21. And then in terms of the Red Sox, look, man, I like Bassett today. He's obviously my next guy in after Robbie Ray. Boston's been struggling. I think they've lost – 6 of the last 7 or their last 9. It's something weird. They're on this downward trajectory. Obviously losing Rafael Devers hurt this team. Put them in 30. They're struggling right now, man. And if Bassett comes out and does his thing, they should be taking another L.
I will admit that I also have a bias on the other side of things. But, Will, these aren't your 2024 Blue Jays. These guys are getting it done now. We got some homers starting to fly.
No. You're missing my point. You're missing my point, man. Whenever I think
it's you.
Yeah, when I think they should be smashing, they score 2 runs. So they can't ever be a top tier team for me. They're like the Dallas Cowboys on the Stephen A. Smith show. It's a black cat running around whenever I take them. They just let me down. All I have to be patient. Just wait. They will let you down.
Taylor, how about you? Would you veto either of these teams?
Probably not. I think it's about right. Toronto, like the bottom of the lineup's kind of ugly. The top 5, I don't really have an issue with. So the 5-man does look good. It is a good park for righty power. Giolito has a reverse split historically, so don't mind that. Not really on Boston. They have enough lefties to be kind of annoying for Bassett, I think. So like a mini stack is okay, but not super into that overall.
And someone in chat was saying that Bayo is going to give up 7 earned runs before the 5th. Well, he already did that yesterday. He's not pitching today anymore. It's Lucas Giolito today. But we do have, let's see how many more games here to go through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we will start going position by position. Then we will take your questions. Throw your questions in the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. Throw them in the YouTube chat. We will, of course, get some home run picks as well. We are 8 likes away from Spidey Bomb number 2. First one is Pete Alonso at plus 320. Keep hitting the like button for the next one. Maybe I'll even give a third one at 125 and a fourth one at 150 because it's the weekend. I'm feeling generous today. Next game on the slate, we have the Padres and the Reds. Taylor, where you got these 2 teams today? One of the best bat hitter parks in all of baseball.
Yeah, Cincy will be 19. Vasquez, like smoke and mirrors for the most part. No strikeouts, just not good numbers overall. I don't know how he has a pretty low ERA, but seems like it's going to come crashing down at some point. Cincinnati's pretty cheap on aggregate, so they are my second highest owned stack right now. San Diego. Last night was pretty brutal for them, almost getting no hit by Nick Martinez, but kind of going back to the well, maybe more as a mini stack. Machado, Tatis, Merrill, lefties, kind of sneaky also against Andrew Abbott. So probably 16 for the Padres. I would hear 21 just because it is a good park, but don't really love the lineup overall.
We are kind of all on the same page today, and I love it. Baltimore, the Rays, the Reds, and the Marlins are my 4 highest owned stacks. Mets are just coming in slightly behind them. There's one other team above the Mets, but they're 6th for me. And the Mets are my highest mini stack as well. So a lot of the same thoughts today for the trio. Will, how about you? Any vetoes between the Reds and the Padres?
Of course, we're going to continue to keep this ranking system boring today, as Taylor just continues to rattle off everything perfectly. I think the only thing I've vetoed has been like the White Sox, which is, of all things, probably not even a veto at the end of this thing. But yeah, I love these rankings. Definitely love the Reds. Randy Vasquez, definitely a pitcher we want to target, and San Diego's just good enough for Abbott to be average today or below average. So love them in the middle.
All right, next one we got. Let me switch back here. St. Louis at Cleveland. Got to be honest, I personally don't really have much interest in either of these two teams today. Will, how about you?
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about it. The problem is, Miles Mikolas isn't anything to worry about. So at a minimum, the Guardians need to be in the middle. They're probably close to 21. I think they're closer to 21 than they are to 16 because of Miles Mikolas. Like this guy, in terms of the K rate, it's just so low, 50%. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, not giving up a ton of power, but against a team that's probably going to try to put the ball in play a little bit and get some contact in. I like the Guardians. Let's go 21 for the Guardians. And on the other side of this game, I probably like the St. Louis lefties a bit more than most. Like if you look at Slade last season, which wasn't a whole lot of play appearances if you equate that to the course of a season. He was worse last year, a little bit better this year, but still struggling against lefties. And this team is going to have a host of lefties versus Slade Ciccone. So I think St. Louis goes in the middle. I think they go in the middle here at a minimum because these lefties should be able to get off here.
Spidey Bomb number 2 just dropped. Max Muncy at plus 450 to go along with Pete Alonso at plus 320. I will drop the next one at 125 likes and a final one at 150. So keep hitting that like button so we can get some more home run calls. Taylor, up or down for the Cardinals and up or down for Cleveland? I will say that while I said I don't like a Cardinals full stack, I'm standing by that, but Nootbaar, Donovan, and Burleson really like that trio as a mini stack today. What are your thoughts on the Cardinals and Guardians, Taylor?
Yeah, there's a specific mini stack I like from Cleveland. It's Ramirez, Kwan, and either Manzardo or Santana at first base. I think that looks really good. Have that a lot, some iteration of that. So Cleveland, I like it more as a mini stack than a full stack. So I guess 21's okay. I might move St. Louis down to 30, just not really getting a ton of them against Ciccone. They looked better last night, but definitely a secondary stack at best.
All right, let's move on to the next one. And 2 games left. We have the Dodgers at the Royals, 5.5 total for the Dodgers. I believe they have the highest implied team total on the slate. Yes, they do. Going into Kansas City. Kansas City has been the worst park for home runs in all of baseball so far this year. Maybe that has to do with Kansas City playing there too. But just saying. Will, where would you have Taylor, sorry, where would you have the Dodgers in Kansas City?
So I have a lot of Ohtani. He's actually my highest owned hitter on the whole slate. But I'm not stacking them a ton. It's kind of a salary thing. But the lefties, Muncy, Dalton Rushing, I think is a pretty good value. Conforto. So kind of a mini stack. I think between 21 and 16 is right. I think the talent maybe pushes them to 21. And then Kansas City is 50. I do not see much of anything from them for me today.
Yeah, Bobby Witt, the only Royal in my pool today, and I'm not getting any full stacks. Dodgers actually are my 5th highest owned full stack today. Love Muncy. And Ohtani is my 2nd highest owned player. You know what's disgusting? You know who's my 1st highest owned hitter? Gary Sanchez. So in the year
I was not gonna guess
2025,
that.
that doesn't feel great. Will, any vetoes for the Dodgers or the Royals?
No vetoes, man. I like the way this is set up. If you guys would have put the Dodgers all the way at the top, I might have bumped them down to 21, but that's definitely the right spot in my book.
Last game on the slate, throwing this one first to you, Will. We have Colorado going into Milwaukee. Milwaukee's second highest implied total on the slate. Colorado, they got the lowest. Where do you got these two teams?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Give me Milwaukee at the top. I don't trust Antonio Senzatella. No surprise there. I think that's definitely the right spot for this team. Here's where we're probably going to get a little cranky because everybody likes Cousin Quinn, and I hate Cousin Quinn. At a minimum, Colorado is going in the middle. And the only reason they're not going to 21 is because they're trash. But I don't trust Cousin Quinn as far as I can throw him. So Colorado's just going in the middle.
What did Quinn do in your childhood that makes you hate him so much?
Cousin Quinn didn't do anything in my childhood, but he's awful. And everybody thinks suddenly because he's had 2 or 3 good games this season that he's a good pitcher and his price is coming up, his K-prop is coming up. Guys, he's not good.
You know that you say it's because of the numbers, but I heard when you guys were 14, Will, Cousin Quinn was staying over at your house and he stole your girlfriend. So that's actually the true reason that you hate him. Taylor, any vetoes?
Well, hey, listen, well, she missed out.
Taylor, any vetoes for you here?
It's not comfortable, but I'm not really on the Brewers that much. Senzatella, pretty good ground ball guy. They're good hitters, also hit the ball on the ground. But, you know, it's still a good spot for them. So if I did anything, I would move them down a tier, but no real issue overall.
All right, little recap. We got a lot of teams in the top tiers. Orioles, Rays, Mets, Reds, Brewers, and Marlins up top with the Dodgers, Guardians, Blue Jays, Giants, Diamondbacks, and Seattle in tier 2. We have Pittsburgh, the Padres, and the Rockies in tier 3. We have all the way down in tier 4, the Red Sox and the Cardinals. Tier 5, the Rangers, the White Sox, and the Royals. Let's start going position by position here, and we'll start at the catcher spot. We'll go all the way through. We'll give our home run picks. Then we'll take some questions. Get your questions into the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chats and get them in to the YouTube chat as well. YouTube, as long as we're smashing the like button, we'll take some questions. We'll give some home run picks. But before we do, the MLB annual option for MLB DFS is $425. However, we dropped the price of our Combo Pro product to mirror the MLB annual package. So you might as well get more stuff for the same price. You can also get 6-month Combo Pro package for full access to our content, tools, projections for every sport except for NASCAR at a cheaper price than the monthly package. You'd actually save about 35% by choosing 6-month instead of monthly. Sign up now for MLB projections, PGA data, and more. You can also check out our Props and Pick'em package for a discount. Props and Pick'em package features daily prop picks and fantasy pick'em selections from many of your favorite RotoGrinders experts. Plus, we're knocking off 50% off the price of your first month. Sign up at the link down below right there in the description. Start me off at the catcher spot, Chief. Who do you like there today? As I mentioned, terrifyingly, Gary Sanchez is my highest owned bat on the slate.
I'm not going to start with Gary. I am going to start with Alejandro Kirk, though. I think at 3,600, this is a really good spot for him against Giolito and his team. So I like him quite a bit. Also like Stevenson in the 6 hole at 3,800. He's another guy that I think should look really good today. And then, of course, I'm going to my boy in Miami, Mr. Ramirez. Talked about the fact that I like this team. He's actually one of their better looking bats today. Only 175 plate appearances on the season. I get it against right-handed pitching, but 14% K rate, 238 ISO. I think this is a fantastic spot for a guy like him, especially when you've got Cal Raleigh at 6,200. Obviously, he's been crushing the ball, but I think this handful right here of cheap catchers, if you will, Ramirez, Stevenson, Kerr, those are my favorite 3. Hands down, love those guys.
Taylor, how about you? Who do you like at catcher?
Gary is my highest owned catcher also, slightly ahead of future Hall of Famer Agustin Ramirez for Miami. Getting some Luis Torrens as a punt in Met stacks for 2,300, I think that's okay. Big Dumper, agree on that as a one-off if you don't want to stack Seattle. I like that obviously quite a bit. And then Dalton Rushing, I mentioned as a good value for the Dodgers.
Like the Rushing call, like the Ramirez call, Stevenson as well. Top 3 for me are 1 Sanchez, 2 Rowley, 3 Kirk. Taylor, take us to first base.
Ohtani at the top, obviously for me, 66 is pretty rich, but it's Ohtani against Seth Lugo. I will take my chances on that. Pete Alonso, regardless of whether you're stacking the Mets, looks good against the lefty Bailey Falter. I think he was a Spidey bomb as well, so lock it in. Vlad Jr., 5-2 for Toronto against Giolito. Spencer Steer, the 3 home run hero, if you want to punt. 2,800, I think, hitting 4th. For Cincinnati, going to be pretty popular, I would think, but still a good play regardless of the home runs he hit last night. Love Aranda in a raised stack from the left side against Eflin.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned Manzardo and the other one, Santana for Cleveland, I think are okay.
A lot of the same guys there for me. Ohtani, Steer, Alonso, up top for my top 3. How about you, Chief?
I'm kind of a start from the bottom today. Definitely want to get into Spencer Steer at 2,800, and you can get him in the outfield also. But 2,800, at least on Draftkings, you can at 2,800. I think that's a great price in the 4-hole betting cleanup against Vasquez. So he's a guy I like Kyle Manzardo in the 2-hole. I'm okay with Dominic Smith against Hauser. I think he's cheap enough. I'm okay with Rhys Hoskins. I know, Senzatella's a ground ball guy, but it's Antonio Senzatella with a 2% K rate. Like, sign me up. I'll take my chances. Give me Pavin Smith against Alcantara. I know Taylor talked about Carlos Santana from Cleveland. Also, at least early, I like him. I like him quite a bit. Ryan O'Hearn, 4,300. He's actually probably been my favorite hitter from Baltimore for the past couple seasons, just because of the low K rate and the power. So, I did want to mention him, even outside of some of these bigger names on the current season, TJ, 15% K rate, 215 ISO. Last season, 13% K rate, 175 ISO. Still really good numbers. Love guys that don't strike out a ton. So he's a favorite of mine from that Baltimore team.
Love that call. I have O'Hearn as my 4th highest owned bat today. So same page, or 4th highest owned first baseman today. So same page there. Lead me into second base, Chief.
Yeah, so at second is probably going to be more so around my stack. So like Brandon Lowe is up top here, Ketel Marte, all these guys, Terang. These are all guys that I'd be playing. Holiday, Xavier Edwards. These are all guys I'd be playing as part of my stack. Schneeman, you name it. McLean. Donovan. Pretty much everybody at second base is just a part of my stack outside of all those, inclusive of those top, 2 tiers worth of teams. Anybody that fits is probably who I'm going to gravitate towards, TJ, based on how I'm building my stack for that particular lineup.
Spidey Bomb number 3, we got Brandon Lau plus 390 to go along with Pete Alonso plus 320 and Max Muncy plus 450. Actually really like second base today with Brandon Lau, Jackson Holliday, Matt McLean, Ketel Marte, Xavier Edwards, Bryce Terang. Like, all of these guys I like quite a bit. Brendan Donovan. Sorry, Taylor, I kind of just stole your thunder. Who do you like at second?
The only other name I would throw in is Christian Koss hitting leadoff for the Giants for 2.5. Pretty good value. So I agree, though. McLean and Lau, Edwards, top 3 for me. Holiday, the only other one I have over 10% of. It is a pretty good position overall. So nothing really more to add.
All right, take me to third.
At third, I have the most of Manny Machado, who has raked lefties for many years. And Andrew Abbott is a fly ball, home run prone lefty in a home run park. So love Machado. Mentioned Vientos as a punt, hitting second for the Mets. Looks good against the lefty. Rafael Devers have a lot against Hauser, who's not done anything against lefties all season, despite pretty good numbers against righties. J-Ram, love paying up for him. I mentioned that Cleveland mini stack that looks good, the lefties in particular. Beyond that, it's kind of just in stacks: Barger, Caminero, Max Muncy, Miguel Vargas, stuff like that.
Devers, Muncy, Caminero, Machado, my big four today as well. How about you, Chief? Who do you like at third?
Like Ramirez against Mikolas. I totally love the Manny Machado call. Taylor just been spot on today, guys. I don't know. I feel like Taylor might be on his way to a big one.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Taylor, I don't know, man. I don't know. I got the feeling for you. I hope you do. I hope you do crush it.
I mean, we're all on the same page, so I think we're all going to take it all down together. That's what it sounds like to me.
I'll take it. Love them.
I'll take down the mini max. Taylor will take down the 20 entry, and Chief will take down single entry.
Yep. I love it. Sounds good to me. Perfectly on board with Caminero, Devers, Max Muncy, all these guys. If I'm going down to the bottom, though, right? Like, isn't it? And he's probably going to pick. Isn't it Addison Barger at 3,800? Like, that feels like the cheap guy that could just tee off today. So, really love him. I think it's a good spot for him, and of course the Blue Jays, but like him quite a bit.
All right, take me to shortstop.
Oh, sorry. One last thing. In honor of me picking on Cousin Quinn, Ryan McMahon's going super yard today. Give me 2 home runs for Ryan McMahon at 3,400. So we're going to shortstop, right, TJ?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shortstop. So I don't feel like shortstop is as bottom heavy. I feel like shortstop's super top heavy today. So you got Ellie, you got Lindor, you got Mookie, Henderson, and and then it's just, and I guess if you want to include Bo Bichette in that, but then as you get lower at shortstop, I'm just not as thrilled with these cheaper shortstop guys as a whole. Like, I don't mind JP Crawford. Obviously, I'm fine with Schneemann, fine with Otto Lopez. But in a general sense, I feel like we need to be spending up at shortstop. If I had to pick one favorite shortstop, it's probably Ellie today against Vasquez, not just because he's the most expensive, but really good spot for him in the Great American Small Park against a pitcher that's really struggling with strikeouts. Ellie could absolutely tee off today, so love him.
All right, Taylor, how about you? Who do you like at short? I am all aboard the Gunnar Henderson train today.
Yeah, I think both are great. I'm slightly leaning Ellie too. Like, his kind of weakness is strikeouts, and Vasquez is not going to strike him out in all likelihood. He has an 11% K rate against lefties, so hard to drop a better spot for Ellie. Love Henderson as well from the left side against Littell. The cheapest I would go is probably Otto Lopez and a Marlin stack, like Will mentioned, but Bichette, Lindor, Witt, Mookie, as one-offs, all are really good plays.
All right, take me to the outfield.
In the outfield, Ohtani once again, of course. I have a lot of Tatis. He hasn't really been good against lefties for whatever reason, but it's Andrew Rabbit. It's a big park boost. He's kind of cheap relative to, where we've seen him before. So I'm okay with Tatis. I mentioned those Padres stacks. Juan Soto, lefty. Very heavily invested in him today against Bailey Falter. On the cheap side, Jesus Sanchez and a Marlin stack. Kyle Stowers, I think you mentioned, as a good power hitter against Fott from the left side. You can play Steer here if you want. Still good with Jackson Merrill, lefty. Josh Lowe in the Tampa Bay stack. And then the 2 Pirates, O'Neal Cruz and Brian Reynolds, I think are kind of sneaky against Blackburn.
All right, Chief, how about you? Who do you like in the outfield?
Plenty of guys, too many to name. So I'll start up top. I feel like, for me today at least, if you're going semi up top, and I'm not talking about like the Ohtani range, let's just say in like this 40-ish hundred range, really like TJ Strudel, Toaster Strudel, TJ Friedel, if you will. Like him today at 4,500 against Vasquez. Once again, do really think this is a really good spot for this team. Josh Lowe leading off against Eflin, obviously. No need to fade him. Stephen Kwan against Mikolas, another guy that I really like in that range. I'm okay with Colton Cowser in the 6 hole. One of the things about Cowser to me that's interesting, he's got the highest ISO on the team. Now he's also got the highest strikeout rate on the team.
I
But
was literally just about to say before you said Cowser, the thought I was articulating in my head was, okay, I'll go. The only person I think I really want to throw in that you guys haven't talked about is Colton Cowser. And then you immediately brought him up.
yeah, I mean, like, look, man, he's probably he may be the one bat or one of the couple bats that strikes out. But man, if anybody's most likely to hit a home run, it's him. Zach Littell does have a fairly balanced pitch mix, on the season. So I'm not saying that, Colton Cowles is just going to completely light him up all the way. But, man, I mean, if there's one guy, I've looked at this pitch mix. He's pretty much got over 200 ISO on everything that Zach Littell is throwing. So it could get kind of ugly here. Outside of the sinker. He's not really hitting that well for power. But other than that, Colton Cowles, man, is really, really hitting for power. And so hopefully that all comes together for him on today's slate, because I do really like this team. Obviously, Lars Lutbar against Ciccone, another lefty that you could throw in there also against Ciccone, because once again he's giving up tons of power to the left side of the plate. So won't hold us at out in the outfield. I guess if I had to go all the way up, if there's one guy I'm going to play off the beaten path, give me Churio against Senzatella. I don't believe in Senzatella today either. Another really low K rate guy. Churio's been a guy that's been able to do really well, and so he's a guy that I really like.
All right, let's start getting into some questions and some home run picks. Not too many questions yet, so get them into the RotoGrinders live stream Discord, get them into the YouTube chat, and hit the like button if you want some more Spidey bombs to go along with Pete Alonso, Brandon Lau, and I don't even remember who my second one was, Max Muncy. Taylor, who's hitting a home run tonight?
My under the radar call in the survey was Reese Hines, who came up last year and hit about 1 million home runs and then stopped. But now he's back. Now he's facing Randy Vasquez. Probably going to get pretty long odds on him. I don't have them in front of me, but Reese Hines is someone I like today.
Will, how about you? You got anybody who you think's hitting a home run tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go right back to somebody I was talking about. Give me Colton Cowles. I love the power on him today. I'm not sure what the odds would be, but he's a guy that I definitely like. Talked about Addison Barger earlier. Give me him. Give me Ryan McMahon against Cousin Quinn. Got to keep my bit going, but also I think McMahon's kind of like Cowser in this situation. If you haven't looked at the numbers, it should be pretty similar. McMahon 204 ISO, 335 WOBA, but 30% K rate. So if he can make some contact, I think he'll be a guy that sends one out of the park. Last but not least, TJ, going to the San Diego game. Give me Toaster Frito leading off at 4,400 against Randy Vasquez.
Yeah, I like it. All strong picks. We have McMahon was 500, Barger 450, and Cowser plus 333. No questions in the RotoGrinders live stream Discord, so I will go straight to the YouTube chat. Taylor, Juan Soto, or Fernando Tatis, DK Cash?
Cash, probably Soto. Tatis tournaments.
What do you think about Miles Michaelis tonight, Will?
Nope, not for me.
Taylor, Holiday and Yelich, or Brandon Lau, Josh Lowe, and Cash, DK Cash?
I think I would take the Rays Low Lau duo.
Me too. Quiet for questions today.
That means we must have did a pretty exceptional job.
100%. Will, what do you think about Andrew Abbott in tournaments?
Not for me. I think Abbott's okay, but for the price, I think I'll just play Bassett.
2 pitchers for a DK GPP, Taylor. Who do you got?
Can I give my taters real quick?
Oh, heck yeah.
I have TJ Friedel, like Will, at plus 550. I've got Christian Yelich at plus 500 and Yandy Diaz at plus 650. Those are my 3 taters of the day.
Ooh,
Big odds on all those, Tim. Wow.
I like that Yandy number a lot. Tim, I also did see somebody else in chat earlier ask for your pitcher takes today if you happen to be playing and want to give your favorite pitchers.
Yeah, so I'm not playing cash today, but in single entry, I have Bassett and Ray. Those are my 2 guys. In single entry, I think those would be most likely my cash game options as well. And then on FanDuel, I think it's Robbie Ray. So I mean, I really love the matchup against the White Sox. So I'm going to stream against that today. So those would be my Ray's my top guy.
I like it, Taylor. How about you? Who would be your favorite 2 pitchers for a DK GPP?
I'm looking at mine right now. In the $12 on DraftKings, I currently have Quinn Priester with Zach Eflin, which feels really horrible. If you want a little more safety, I think not safety, but I think there's upside in a Quinn Rocker duo. If you want all the bats, double punt at pitching, I think that's okay. But yeah, if you want to go spicy, I think Eflin would be pretty interesting.
Will, thoughts on a 5-man Marlin stack?
Love it. Sign me up.
Couldn't agree more. All right, going back to the most recent ones. What do you think about Steer as a outfielder play for single entry on FanDuel, Taylor?
Definitely one of the best plays on the slate, so for sure.
DK GPP, Will, Kyle Stowers or Lars Nootbaar?
Ooh, GPP. Oh man, I think Stowers.
Colton Cowser or Kyle Stowers for DK Cash, Taylor?
Probably Cowser. I think, like you said, he's one of the better bets for a home run today. So I think he's a very strong play.
All right. Are you okay with Cousin Priester and Robbie Ray as a DK Cash pairing, Taylor?
Yeah, I do prefer Wu to Ray, but I have no issue with that if you want to play Ray instead.
Will, what do you think about a no full stack team today? 3 Rays, Gunnar Henderson, and 4 one-offs.
I mean, it's baseball. So if that's what you're feeling, go right ahead. I do think it's more optimal to stack because you get the chances of racking up the points and how those all string together. But hey, if you're the one person that nails all the people that hit 2 home runs today, you'll probably take down a GPP.
Is the weather okay in Pittsburgh? Asks Coach B.
Y'all said that game was going to be fine, not like yesterday. Let me check again and make sure.
I'll pull up the weather report. He has a broken line of storms is slowly moving that way. They may late start, but the storms are slow moving. So slow moving that I prefer they just play and see what happens. Either way, I think they play ball. I'm just not fully certain on what that will take. So he is confident that one's going to play. But as always, especially on the weekends when he's not on the shows, make sure you are following Kevin Roth on Twitter so that you can see his most up-to-date reports, because he will give updates if they are necessary on those games, especially the one in Pittsburgh. I think that'll do it for all the questions today, everyone, right as we are 1 minute left until lock. Oh, I did miss one. FanDuel, Will, who do you like better? Wu and Will Benson or Robbie Ray and Reese Hines?
I just like Robbie Ray better across the board, so give me Ray. I know Taylor probably will go Wu on this one. I feel like you can't go wrong though.
Taylor also loves Hines though, so
yeah, I do like Hines. You can't go wrong. I think both are good.
Taylor, Yandy Diaz or Jonathan Aranda, straight up?
I would take Aranda, I think, but coin flip, to be honest.
Will, do you happen to have the bat, or do either of you happen to have the bats projections up near you and are able to tell me who is the Reds player with the highest pinch hit risk today? I would assume it's Will Benson. No, Gavin Lux.
Let's see.
Lux or Benson. I think either way, those are the only two guys you really have to worry about a potential pinch hit for.
Let's see. Gosh.
Because Friedel always stays
Yeah.
in there. And Lux and Benson are the only other lefties.
Yeah, Lux is the highest, 23%.
All right, that'll do it. We have hit lock. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We will be back tomorrow for an early show, 12:35 Eastern time. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. On behalf of myself, Taylor, Will, Tim, doing a great job behind the scenes. Peace.